I has beverages.
You have beverages is the first thing that is said on stream. Good. Well done. We got to get this party killed so I can go see in-game. Basically, is where I'm at
Okay.
right now.
Wow.
So really,
Wow. You're just gonna
I
say
would be
that.
annoyed. I would be annoyed, but your priorities are acceptable.
yeah, it's that weekend. I'm gonna go to Chipotle on Monday, and somebody's gonna spoil it for me, and I have to see it now. Or because I don't even like. I'm not a huge fan of the MCU, but I've got caught up in it again recently. It's like it's 2008 all over again. But actually, it's 47, the year that Wrath of the Righteous came out, because that's what we're doing today. We are playing what I'm going to refer to as Mount and Blade Warband, but what it actually is Wrath of the Righteous, Paizo's Mythic AP, our bi-weekly patron game. As always, boys, Tim, Nick, Jason, Adam, thank you guys so much for your support, letting us do all this crazy stuff on BDG. And I should have set up the overlay on OBS a little better so I could put the tokens up here with names. I will do that next time. I'm the worst. For now, we'll do our in-character reflections in order of token. So we'll start with the only large creature in the room, Old Delvin Slagborn. If you could reintroduce basically what your race is, your class, and that in-character reflection in return for your hero point. If you guys need a little reminder, last time we got back to Canabras and we went a wandering in a ruined city in the World Wound, and we made a lot of friends.
We did.
22 friends.
Potential snacks. I'm
Easy.
joking.
Apsu is displeased.
Oh. Okay, I'm playing Delvin Slagborn. He is a custom race called the Forgekin. Think, well, who were cursed by a hag into gianthood. So, yes, you are what you hate. So, he is a Kinsai Magus, and I'm sorry, Tommy, what else did you ask? My brain skipped a beat there.
Yeah, good. It's good to know. We've only just started and your brain has already worn down the in-character reflection, how you're feeling, what's going through your head in return for your hero point.
Oh, yeah. Delvin is not a happy camper at the moment. I was hoping to find some pockets of resistance here up in Canabras instead of look like it had been carpet bombed. And at this point, we have a lot of folks, which means we can either protect ourselves fairly well or have a lot of attracting too many other people. But basically, we need to get out of here to a more protected place. So I have a quick plan for that. But other than that, that and I picked up a Pearl of Power equivalent at the end of last game, so that will help.
Indeed. And it's always Jason the man with the constantly having the plan. I would be worried if you didn't, to be honest. And take that hero points, and we will take it from there. If you move 2 squares up, there's a Warhammer lizard. And he's hanging out. And he's talking about eating all these people. Next up, Nick, who are you? What are you playing in character reflection for that?
First off, Games Workshop, please don't sue me.
I mean,
secondly,
I'm freely willing to admit that there is Clara's mom is a magic card. Belfus is, I think, from WoW. I think, and I needed a male tailor.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
should have got Garrett from DS9. Jokes. Indeed. All right, take it away, man.
Anyway, so I'm playing something that's, well, it's been a long while, 2 weeks. I'm playing as Grazak, the paladin of Apsu, the god of the metallic dragons. He is a spirit warrior and a wanderer of the worm-blessed lizard folk, which are basically lizard men, but, better, like the Aslanti are to humans, essentially. He also really doesn't like being called a lizard folk. He finds it offensive. But I'll digress. what is on his mind right now. Well, Grazak is a little. He's found a group of warm bloods that he's, for the first time, he's actually quite comfortable around. He's still very upset about the death of his one-time master, Terendelev, but now he's kind of unsure of the situation that they're in now. Having all these other individuals that he has to look out for. And, you know, joking aside about eating any of the refugees right now, he can't help it. He's got a reptilian brain. I guess his line of thinking would be a lot like Delvin's, except he doesn't have a plan. He's just straightforward. Need to get out of this city.
Fair enough.
Because there doesn't seem to be anything left for them.
It's a little carpet bombed is a good word. When the demons come in and cast lots of fire, is this a carpet bomb? Yes, it certainly is. Take that hero point, and we will move 2 squares to the right to the party grandmother, shall we say. Everyone has that mom friend, but when that mom friend is also the healer, we have Tim's character, Tim. I almost called you Kim. That is not your name. Who are you? What are you playing in character reflection for that hero point?
Alright, my character's name is Tempe. She is a Galeus Oracle. Galeus are a race of evolved sentient methods. Specifically air methods. And they are speedy and have many wind type powers. That's about it for my class and for my race, anyways. I'm a dual classed oracle, or a dual cursed oracle. So that's fun. I'm really old, but other stuff. Anyway, so last time we collected a horde of friends and people that we need to protect, which I'm excited about. I'm a big fan of big groups. I figure the more people around me, the more protected I am. Whether that's true or not is remain to be seen, but that's sort of how I feel about that. I think that we didn't. A lot happened last time, but it was mostly just getting new people.
Yeah.
Like every other 5 minutes or so, we'd get a new person.
That's fair. You can channel energy now too, can't you?
Yes, I can channel energy now.
And that's clutch when you have a bunch of one-hit dice dudes that will probably always be within 30 feet of you. Tempe has become the MPV. And man, language, I quit. I hate this. The MVP of the party. Take your hero point, and there's a little tiny thing buzzing around. When you think you're going to play Wrath of the Righteous, at least in my mind, I'm picturing Paladin, Cleric, Cavalier. Did I say Cleric? Second Cleric. Instead, something comes out of the first world that has a little tiny sling and makes our playthrough of Wrath of the Righteous really unique. Because we're taking a lot of prisoners. Because of Kieran, Adam, who are you? What are you playing? That in character reflection, if you would.
I'm a Burrell. I am straight from the first world. We all think Tempe is old. Tempe is a spring chicken. Because if I remember correctly, I was literally here when the material plane was created. Being a first worlder and all that jazz. I'm very happy that we have new victims for pranks. And I'm also kind of happy that we ended up saving the Virgin. I think we're going with Clara.
Yes,
what's her name?
That is her name.
And then we have also saved 2 workers
think they owned a tailor shop.
Yeah, I'm guessing Bethis and Nira.
Balthus and Nira, yeah.
But the next hours, and hopefully if we can make it that far, days, will definitely decide whether this is Canabris or Canab bust.
But
Yeah. I don't have a symbol. I need to. Kane at the IFPC used to have a drum set set up behind his computer, and he would just get up and do that.
oh man, you need to set up like a hotkey for that soundbite.
I mean, I could go to my dad's and get all my metal band stuff and just bring like a China back. It would be sweet. In any case, take your hero point, my friend, and we will pick up from basically right where we left off, except now we don't have Ankylosaur tokens running around. Now everybody is, as they appear, NPCs whom you have met the name of, known the name of, been introduced to, have their name on the token. And the floor is yours, guys.
Nap time, right?
I believe that was the plan. The Blackwing Library is the most defensible location you guys have come upon as far as like all of the people you are carrying around with you are concerned.
Of course.
Okay, of course we're going to make it as defensible as possible before we, if we can, I will ask the two, if they might be able to whip up something for my familiar to snuggle in while he's not.
Yeah, that could be done pretty easily. Just like a little pouch that somebody's carrying, stable it to you.
Yeah, I need a fanny pack.
For your dinosaur.
A little kangaroo pouch. Little baby carrier for the little tiny dinosaur.
Indeed.
And tiny it is. About the size of a chicken. And considering the size of Delvin, librarians, we need a map and any information that they know of in book form about how to fight demons. You know, weaknesses, maybe a who's who book, that sort of thing.
A who's who of the lower planes. Okay, fair enough. They certainly would be able to produce a map of the city. Let me... I can make one really quickly in Illustrator, or I can just give y'all a Google link. I think I'll give y'all a Google link.
Well, and also things I'm looking for is where is the nearest place with another ward stone?
Okay, that would be... They would know the answer. The answer is not written in the AP, but it's the next city over, basically.
Okay. Because that, to me, is probably the closest route to get to some place where other people alive.
Seems
That's a
to
fair
track.
assessment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I will really quickly jam in Discord. Anybody else got anything?
I suppose Razak would be he would probably be asking those same things, but seeing as Delvin could take care of that, he would more likely, as I said before, probably pestering the poor librarians. Or actually, you know what? Those wayward knights that were about to sacrifice that girl, Razak would want to be talking to them and ask them, you know, who is this this Sarin Rao goddess that they were trying to sacrifice that younger female to?
They would be able to give you the basic rundown on the Church of Sarenrae. That is to say, the goddess of mercy, healing, the sun. She is often associated with people that live farther east than where you guys are. a big fan of redeeming the innocent, but if you're not innocent, or if you're like a demon or an undead, it's a quick death at usually the point of a scimitar.
All right. Grazak will be pulling out his tiny little notebook and trying to scribble this down,
Okay.
as he is wont to do so. He'd probably make a passing comment about how that seems very contradictory to what you are going to do to the female. You should be ashamed of yourselves. But speaking of redemption, since you four seem probably the most combat capable, you should help us watch over the rest of the pack tonight.
They all nod.
I'm simply asking if they will help keep patrol.
They
or
all
watch.
nod. They have been pretty well chastised, and they realize that what they were going to do to Clara was purely an act of desperation, and they're trying to do their best to atone for it. Everybody here is basically on board with
Right.
defending this little group that has been put together. Even Horgus has his dagger out, and though he doesn't really look like he knows how to use it, he's still like prepared to. The mongrel men, of course, are the same. They've all kind of like fallen in behind you guys.
Right. Okay, well that's it for me then.
Okay.
For now.
Anybody
Now,
else?
did I remember?
Adam, what
Did
you
I
got?
remember correctly that Kieran had said something about questioning our captures earlier?
Yeah, that is a thing you could definitely do. They are presently, the knots on their head aren't as big as they could be. They're probably, about the size of like a halfling's palm, I suppose, where the pebble hit a little too hard. They're down for the count, but they could be brought up.
Minor concussions.
Yeah. The pebble just hit, actually, to be honest, from Kieran, that I was just going to say this sarcastically, but it makes more sense that the pebble probably hits like just smack in the temple in such a way that like it's enough pressure to bring somebody down.
Yeah, when the brain bounces around its house, it's not so good.
Indeed.
But
Like an egg in a Tupperware.
Yeah, that's also fair.
well, okay. I would pull our friends into a corner for a quick whispered conversation.
Okay. Everybody gives you the piece to do so. Frankly, there's enough stuff going on that everybody has something to do, even if that's just like push a rack of library books over a spot in the wall to like shore it up, or like lean out the door and see if anything's moving around, that kind of thing.
I'll take a knee, so you're to whisper. Friends, we have a problem. The prisoners we have captured we can safely bring them with us if we are to keep group alive.
I don't disagree with you, but they still have information. And we should at least get them back as long as we can, as to be able to procure the most amount of information, because even I'm not going to be able to get everything I want out of them in a single night, nor do I necessarily want you all to hear me get everything out of him in a single night.
I can see the female being useful, as she seemed to be one that was truly an actual cultist. The other one seemed just like another madman that was driven crazy by the demons. That being, she may be useful. The other, I don't know.
I agree. I don't know. I'm not the best at determining how to get information out of people.
Information or no, our priority should be getting this pack of humans out of this city.
Out of the city sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh? Why is
It
that?
does.
Why? Because this is our city, and we're going to take it back.
We cannot do that with only 4 of us and a handful of scared civilians. The rest of the Crusaders seem to have gone. Wherever the rest of them are, we should try to find them. But I do
Then
not.
they're a bunch
Does
of
not
whiny
seem that they
little.
are here.
Then they're a bunch of whiny little blanks, and they can go do nefarious things elsewhere with themselves. But we're taking the city back.
I agree, but we don't
I haven't
have
spent.
the strength to take it back now.
We cannot take the city back if we are all dead.
What's harder to do? Try and take a city back with a foothold already in the city, or try and get a foothold to take the city back?
For all we know, we are the only ones that are left in this city that are not already corrupted or are demons to with.
Yeah, and we've only found one demon. We found more potential allies than we found demons.
Point at some of the shriveled things from the worm that walks.
Okay, so we
And
found.
are we strong enough to take on the creature that left those?
Maybe.
I'm not looking forward to whatever that thing was that came here. From what the librarians have said, it doesn't sound like it's something that we can handle. Out of character, did the librarians actually mention what the creature was that came here?
You guys
No,
had
we
figured it out
figured it out.
yourselves. Yeah, but they would corroborate
Okay.
it certainly.
All right.
And considering that this thing would be one of the more powerful evil arcane casters in the multiverse, it's whatever wizard level it was when it died, add 2 for a CR.
Okay, are you saying that in character?
That's out of character. That's
Okay.
far too meta.
Delvin's eyes just
I
go
was
way
about
out
to
of
say.
focus for a second as he looks into the wall and says, "This template gives it a +2 to CR."
Wait, what was that? Nothing?
Nothing. Idle meta talk. He slaps himself, his eyes go back in.
All right.
From what I know of these creatures, they are beyond, honestly, our collective ability, even if Aravashniel was up to full power.
Right, and the giant flaming whip person, because we want to keep
Aelor.
this clean. Did he really mess with us? Or did he pretty much just try and annihilate Trendolev? And the reason we got hit was because we were near Trendolev. As much as they're sick and sadistic, we're like ticks. We're just really annoying but they're not going to mess with us. So if we see this thing, we walk the other way.
That seems quite contradictory to what you were saying about wanting to retake the city.
I'm not an idiot. There's things we can do here to make it easier, and they have to be around here somewhere. We're in the middle of New York City, and we've looked at one block, and you all want to take and call it quits. We haven't even walked across Times Square yet. And you all want to go crying home to your dead mother.
I am not aware of this New York or this square of time that you speak of. But remember, we are not the only ones that are at risk now. As I nod back to all the other people here. Our priority should be them, not seeking retribution against these things that have destroyed your city.
Right, but we also have a bunch of warriors here who can sit here and protect them, and we can go out on scouting missions, and they can start setting up a base. So when we find real people, we can be like, hey, go here, go collect a bunch of people. Send somebody else on a collection mission for once.
Maybe we should ask them if they would be able to make it out of the city on their own.
Actually, as I remember it, the librarians don't actually even want to leave.
They, at the moment, as Grazik turns back and regards these people that you're protecting, all of the those knights in tarnished armor sit just sharpening their swords. Aravashniel has, though he still cannot see, he has sat down with his spellbook and he's cast what the Gishes would be able to identify as read magic, and it seems to be enough to where he can still get his spellbook together. The librarians aren't keen to leave, as they are fortifying this place with knowledge, basically. They're uncomfortable doing so, but in between they do pull out random scrolls or pull out their own spellbooks and jot a thing down. The mongrels, and you guys would know, in 4.5 days at this point, the rest of the First Crusaders' children will rise and come back to the city. Lan and his cohort seem perfectly willing to tooth and nail and lobster claw and horn and everything in between at anything that stands in their way. Really, it seems that it's just Clara and her parents are the only ones who are not willing to help in some way, shape, or form. In the case of Clara's parents, they're just too old. They a stiff breeze will knock them over, and Clara herself is she doesn't have she doesn't have her wits about her. She's still really young and frail. Other than that, you guys do have, both for the purposes of scouting or fortifying here, you do have a pretty well put together force for what it is. Also worth noting, you could leave the city, but judging by what's happened in Canabras after the Wardstone gave out, it's probably a fair assessment that the area around Canabras has also joined the World Wound as well. So it may be just as unsafe out there as it is in here. At least until you hoof it out of northern Avistan, basically.
Yeah, I actually did forget that we were expecting more reinforcements from down below.
Yeah, I was.
You'll probably need to stay until they get here.
I was tempted to send a couple of them back with intelligence as to what's happened up here.
It's not the worst idea.
That isn't the worst idea. I'd be down. I would be willing to allow that.
And Kieran also made a really good point, which also applies to this scenario. You guys are a small force. You can't really go anywhere in Canabras quietly, even if you try. You aren't an organization, you're not the Thieves Guild, right? There are a lot of people in plate mail that are clinking and clanking, not just Delvin, behind you, as well as people who just like don't know how to keep quiet. That said, one or two people can probably make their way through Canabres without attracting a whole lot of attention.
Wait.
You know. Also, I just had another thought. I mean, this place is semi-defensible, but I feel like if we go back down, maybe we could get some help from the things that are down there, and
The mongrel men?
set up camp in with the mongrel men.
That's a fair
And
point.
Yeah, and then we can from there start to widen our search and figure out what's going on.
Wait, are you saying going back down to set up your defensive point? Or leading them here?
Or the down below seems more defensible than where we're at right now.
Yeah, I'm having trouble understanding what you're saying. Your volume level is low.
Yeah, Tim, if you could turn your gain up just a little bit.
Sorry about that. Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems good to me.
Much better.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that down below seems more defensible than where we are right now.
Based on the fact that you guys were down there for a while, and the worst you had to contend with was, well, frankly, bad RNG. And also, like, a couple of random mongrels, a crazed wizard who is now following you, and a couple of cultists, that does seem to track. At present, Chief Soul is getting the rest of the Children of the First Crusade together to come up into the city. It'll take a few days, but it is probably safer there.
So are you suggesting that we take our flock down below?
Yes.
That's not a bad idea.
Let us speak to the mongrel men then about this.
That is a good
Which
idea.
one of them actually had a name?
The only one with
Lan.
a name is Lan, and he's the mongrelman who is not the generic token, the one who's got an elf face on one side and a lizard face on the other side.
Okay. Yes. Half-brother, I would like to speak with you.
He makes his way over. I'll move his token arbitrarily. Yes.
So I guess Grozak would like to give him the rundown on what we just asked, and would that be possible for your clan to do, to keep some of these other people in like refuge?
He nods. I believe if we were to track back from the way we came through the sewers, these individuals would be able to make the trek down. It will take time, and who knows what we will find between here and there, but I'm sure the chief will be welcoming. Certainly, it is a very dangerous world up here. As he says that, you hear the sound of... It kind of sounds like a vulture. It kind of sounds like a vulture that's been pitch shifted 2.5 steps down and is warbly fly overhead, and then like the sound fades into the distance. Everyone kind of like jumps a little as this happens.
I immediately whip out radiance as soon as I hear that noise.
Everybody basically does the same. It thankfully passes over.
Okay. So here's what the idea that Grazak's going to pitch. Send one of your men down below tonight and let them know that we'll be sending a group of them down for have one of your men tell Slan that we're coming back with about 20 or so refugees. That should at least give them some time to prepare for when we do arrive.
Lan nods. Delvin, Tempe,
Is everyone in
Kieran.
agreement with that?
Indeed, Delvin, Tempe, Kieran.
100%.
Everyone is good.
Yeah.
I would send more than just one, where one can slip and break a leg to make sure.
Half of Lan's
One or
face
two.
winces as Delvin brings it up and remembers the fact that Lan had a tower fall on him.
Oh, forget about that.
I agree.
Sorry, friend, didn't mean to bring up that.
I'm just glad you were there when you were to help. So, what do you think? 2 of my warriors back down?
No more than 2. I take it that you guys know your ways down the tunnels well enough.
Lan nods.
Tell him within the next day.
Of course.
Thought,
Yes.
if we all go as a group there now, or in the morning after we've rested, we all track back to the labyrinth, to that area. The forces we have can protect who still need our protection, and we as a group can come up, scout, try to gather other survivors and material.
That's part of the reasons I wanted to take them down there, is because there's more. We've got reinforcements down there, and then we can just be a scout team.
Lan nods.
I still think backtracking is a terrible idea.
And why is
Technically,
this little
we
one?
are-
Kieran looks at, or rather, Lan looks at Kieran.
Because we're in a defensible spot now. It may not be great, but it's better than trying to traipse all these people through God only knows what. So
Well-
the longer we just stay up here and keep patrolling the area, which we're going to be doing anyways, the safer they're going to be. And I cannot believe that everyone is gone. We just got a bad, unlucky day. The more we go towards the center of town, the more likely we are going to find someone.
Where we're at now is more like a campsite. It's not really defensible unless someone's always watching. Whereas down below is very defensible, as in there's only one entrance.
And there's only one way out.
Uh-huh. But then we
I
can...
believe there were 2 ways out. One
My
through
friends,
the tunnel
that is not
high
necessarily
and the
true.
river below.
There are several, and you guys have passed several rents in the earth that would certainly lead down.
Oh, okay.
In addition to what my people know, there are several ways down into those tunnels.
Okay.
I see everyone's
makes it even
points.
better.
This building, he waves around at the walls, is defensible, and there are certainly enough of us that we can keep a steady watch, but these doors, these walls, will only hold for so long. In the tunnels, we will have more allies, we will have more defenses. However, I believe Kieran also has a point. We haven't traveled but more than about a day. There could be people here that need us now. And he says this a little louder than the rest of the conversation is gone, and at that point, Horgus makes his way kind of waddly, and Anivia, who still has the crutch, but she's been like healed enough that the bone is set. It's just really awkward and like it's healed wrong, basically. Anivia makes her way forward, and I would still really like to go back home. If my wife is alive, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just being nostalgic for a better time, I suppose. And she goes to like start another sentence, and then Horgus makes his way up and goes, well, offered you fine neighbours lots of money in return for taking me back to my estate. That still stands. My guards are hopefully not eaten by demons in any case. I'd feel much safer if I was on my own property. Horgus says that that last bit especially loud, and all the eyes in the room turn the party's direction.
All right, I have another idea, which is the same idea, but instead of us like going back down, we have the guards that we took from down below escort a few at a time back down, and then we can go and search out those places that Horgus and our original companions want us to take a look at.
Horgus, does your facility have enough materials to house all these people? Because I'm sure you have some sort of a panic vault.
He looks really uncomfortable at the notion of letting freeloaders into his home. The walls are certainly bigger than they are here in this place. Don't really have much of it.
And the more people...
I also would like to see his place before we consider that as an option. Right now, I believe that the down below area is still the best place to set up like a base camp. But we don't have to go down there all at once. I'm suggesting that we have the guards escort a few people at a time down there until everyone's down there, while we stay up here and continue searching the area.
Lan nods. I suppose my warriors and I could... perhaps the poor maiden and her parents, or the tailors. I believe they would fight if backed into a corner. I believe them to be a liability.
How about we ask them if they want to go to the infected, disease-ridden, to them, place? I mean, we are kind of just telling them where to go. We haven't asked them what they want to do.
Okay, so the whole room has basically, like, this place is as defensible as it can be made, short of someone fabricating or stone shaping. So everyone has made their way around to this conversation. Belphus and Nira, they look at each other and exchange worried glances. Belphus has a pair of shears that has, like, he has borrowed one of the fighter's whetstones to make a pretty functional, if kind of wonky, dagger. Nira has done the same, and, well, my friends, we will follow you. Would you like us to go down? We will go down. However, I agree with Kieran. This is our city, and we'll help however we can. Clara's parents they don't say anything. They exchange worried glances, and the poor girl just... I don't really think we can help. My mom and dad, they're just too old. Dad has served his time in the militia. And yeah, if you can get us out of here, that wouldn't be the worst idea. The librarians have all, at this point, gone to just studying their spell books. The same is true of our Avashnial. They have what they feel to be home field advantage, though it be a mess. This is their home, and they look ready to defend it. The soldiers watch the door. The mongrels have begun to kind of click and clack back and forth at each other. A couple of them are still hanging over the passed out tiefling, human, and Baphomet's divine agent, occasionally giving, when like the conversation gets a little too arguey and back and forthy and nothing gets decided, they know they have to watch these people. They know they need to stay down. So like for good measure, the man with Iomedae's holy symbol tarnished on his shield just kind of like walk over, kick him in the head. He groans.
So I'm sorry to bring this up, but is that basically the whole every time they try to wake up, somebody's just clunking them in the head?
In a
Yeah, pretty much.
mechanical
Because
sense,
I imagine
yeah.
that's going to be doing permanent damage to them after a while.
There comes a point where the non-lethal damage ticks over to lethal, but since like we're in an out of combat and they are captured kind of scenario, it's to a point where just like when the non-lethal damage fades, somebody gets whapped and it goes back on. They're not in danger.
Oh, and by the way, the cleric of Baphomet gagged and blindfolded and secured.
Of course.
Okay.
I guess I should also point out Milorn is pretty stuck to Delvin. When Delvin speaks, Milorn agrees. It's beginning to get kind of dark outside. Land.
Well, I'm pretty sure it means we're sleeping here tonight, irregardless. I still think maybe going to Horgus's house is not such a bad idea because he kind of admitted that he has a panic room, and if it's still intact, we can set up there.
All right.
And if
Tomorrow,
I haven't really known Horgus, there's probably other people there.
In Morehouse? Oh, he just kind of... He is stuck.
Would you rather have a city to live in or not have people in your house?
He goes full Governator, I suppose, as he's stuck between freeloaders in his home and the catastrophe that has fallen Canabra, as he kind of just is dividing by 0 over and over.
I'll put a hand up. Neighbor.
Yes?
The more people there, the more people to defend your house.
Oh, I suppose that's a good point. Assuming my guards hadn't been eaten by some foul sorts of things, I wouldn't mind having one of these fine neighbors. He kind of hangs on neighbors as his arm extends to the mongrels. One of them kind of like half-jokingly takes a lobster claw and clacks at it, and he pulls it back.
Grazak half growls, half chuckles at this.
So too do the mongrels.
Assuming that the fat man's home has not already been destroyed, I suggest that tomorrow morning the 4 of us go there to see if the area is still standing. The rest can stay here and defend themselves while we are gone.
How about we bring the 5 of us?
Yes,
the 5th, of course,
I
being
suppose
Horgus.
you're right.
Yes.
Grozak assumed that went without saying, but yes.
Okay, so is everybody...
I might even argue for 6.
The 6th
Last
being...
one being Eravashnu.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, so people start, like, as the conversation turns to we are going to Horgus's in the morning and staying here for the night, people start to bed down. Lan approaches you guys and, well, should I send my warriors out now, or should I wait for the morning?
Wait for the morning.
He nods.
Because if we end up going to Horgus's, it makes no point to send your warriors out.
Besides, the gods know what things are probably creeping around the city during night.
Lan nods. You said something about... He nods in the direction of the prisoner corner. What should we do about them tonight? Should we... He sticks out an awkward humanoid thumb to his throat and drags it across as in to like slit his own throat. Should we try to get information out of them now?
Wait until we can have a proper room.
Out of character, may I ask a question here?
Of course.
Now, trying to keep in alignment with my particular code of ethics as a paladin of Apsu, We are discussing the possibility of either interrogating prisoners or just disposing of them if they aren't useful. But in any other circumstance were these people not insane demon worshippers, I would probably be completely against the idea of, disposing of them, or hell, even interrogating them violently through torture.
Yeah, that's fair. Let me really quickly, I'm going to bring up Apsu's Paladin code real quick, because of all the deities out there, Apsu is probably the most flexible on the situation.
It's like the least, it's most, the most vanilla one out there.
True. So there's definitely no doubt of the malice of at least the Tiefling and the Inquisitor. The human
Absolutely.
he's at a point where he's broken. His city has fallen, and kind of is it's broke his mind. So there may be he falls in that there can be no doubt of my enemy's malice. He's not necessarily malicious so much as he's just, like many people in Canabras who are still standing, recently undergone a pretty heavy mental trauma. The mercy is offered but only once thing, as we're at that point. If they were to get hostile, you put them down, and really at this point, it is not enough to slay evil and carry on. I will spend the time necessary to help those I protected defend for themselves kind of applies to everyone in the room. Basically.
Well, yeah, of course. That goes without saying.
As far as torture goes, it's probably okay as long as it doesn't get super heinous, involving the Tiefling and the Inquisitor. The human is a different story. The human knight, I should say. Killing them is also it would need to serve a greater good for the rest of the people in the room, and since I won't necessarily call them a chink in the armor, the people that you're carrying around with you, but somebody has to be responsible for them, and God's forbid somebody should come in and heal the Inquisitor and unbind her, and then off she goes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The male knight, he did threaten to have me sacrificed to his gods when we did come into the room.
He did.
If I'm remembering correctly. Now,
you guys walked in on he was going to sacrifice all of the librarians to... He didn't really have a particular... Basically, at this point, he is a fallen worshiper of the Iomedae who you guys can interpret. He's just got, he's trying to survive in the new world order that has been slammed on Canabras.
So he's a coward and a traitor.
That is one interpretation, yes.
Yes. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for survival instincts, but they're where die on your feet just making it as hard as you can on them, or you just break. And it's very hard to come back from that type of being broken.
There's also the hypocrisy of the fact that we gave Malorn a second chance, but not giving the second chance to at least the knight and not the other two. Because the other two, their allegiances were clear from the start. And the guy, on the other hand...
Malorn's still pending his second chance. He still has to go to trial.
Indeed. At the talk of killing the prisoners, he does get visibly uncomfortable. Kind of just he tries to put Delvin between everyone else and himself, basically.
You're a crazy butt-face. They're just malicious. So you get a little bit more. But you still are a demon worshiper and experimenter. So you're right to be worried.
1 second. I look at Malorn.
He looks at you.
Truth, brother. Worshipped demons.
He shakes his head no.
Sense motive?
Sure,
I
go for it.
guess. Alright, hold on. I need to bring mine.
And I will do the same.
Okay.
And I now get a +2 on that.
Nice.
Woohoo!
Thank you, little dinosaurs.
Okay. Is that 8 modified from Kieran, or is it just an 8?
Just an 8.
Okay. I assume Grazix is higher than 11.
It's a plus. It's a 13, actually.
Sure.
I don't have a high wisdom.
Okay,
Well,
so
it's average, but I haven't really put many points into it.
I sit here and look at the world going, why would you make a class that's designed to be a torturer and information getter and not give sense motive as a class skill?
you got to play that empiricist investigator. Land sticks his head in as well, and he doesn't really make sense of much of anything. For Kieran, it's a little foggy as well. Grazik, Delvin both think that there's reasonable doubt into what Malorn is saying, given that he fled the surface of Canabras and has been eating dark mantles underground forever and ever. But Tempe, being a little closer to the magic of the divine, knows that if he had sold his soul over, there would be some definitive marking somewhere, some kind of something to indicate that he was serving a demon lord or a chaotic evil god.
So some sort of taint.
Correct. In poor Malorn's case, he probably just looked into the darkness looking for power and was run out for it, and then out of spite kept going. That sort of thing.
Okay. If we were to speak to the librarians about the night, what would they be saying about? Would they be able to offer any other information besides crazy and decided he would sacrifice us?
That's basically what they know. In general, they all regret opening the door to him in the first place. They would rather stay here and defend the library, and Aravashnial is kind of he has gone to their circle and they surround him, and they all definitely seem to defer to Lord Aravashnial. If given the chance, it's possible that some of these librarians would pull a dagger and slit the dude's throat, but you kind of can't blame them given that they were going to be burned alive.
And he was also commanding the tieflings.
I think we only have one right now.
Right, there were a total of 3. One was knocked out in the first round of combat by Kieran, the other was killed, and one of them escaped.
And that escape kind of concerns me, because he may have friends.
That does somewhat stand to reason. So far, you guys going around Canabras, you run into a single Abracandilu and you dispatched it. Then you ran into these guys and you incapacitated 2, killed 1, the other one got away. He's been gone for a few hours now at this point.
You would think they would have come back by now. I don't think he's going to come back. I think he just saw someone who was more powerful and useful and followed. I'm sure he'll find something else to assuage his fears of death. I still say we should go to Horgus's house.
Agreed. In the morning.
Agree.
Leave them bound. And leave the mongrels to dispatch them.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is in the morning we will leave for Horgus's house, we being the party plus Horgus and maybe Aravashnial. Lan will send 2 at most of the mongrels back down to Chief Soul to inform him of the situation and see if there can't be avenues for bringing the non-combatants possibly down there if Horgus's place of residence is not quite defensible enough. The
Correct.
prisoners are to remain bound. They will be interrogated when we find a more appropriate place to do so, but they'll be watched in the night, and if things get hairy, they get clubbed to death.
I give them each a masterwork glaive.
Okay.
Use this.
Definitely worth noting. The mongrels all have masterwork glaives now. That's a little awkward for them. Their hands are not quite formed in such a way to hold that weapon, and the ones that do have better hands also, they kind of like, the weight is weird. It's clear they've never had anything this fancy before.
This is fine. Fight with the weapons you know how to use. But if you need to dispatch these 3, use this. It'll work better.
They nod.
I think they have like a ×4 crit or something.
They do, yeah. That is absolutely accurate. 3 or 4.
Regardless, the coup de grace is a lot better than using a club.
Accurate, yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, anybody else got anything before the night passes?
Before we nod off, I will hand Malorn the hammer I picked up from the shrine.
Okay.
And I will just Dwarven. The last person fell to the Dark Ones. Will you protect me through the night?
He nods.
Can I trust you, brother?
It is a warhammer that you were handing him to remind
Yeah,
me?
+1 warhammer.
Okay.
So I know he's proficient.
He is not, actually. You hand it to him and the weight is kind of awkward. He's not the strongest, so it kind of like when he tries to heft it, it leans. And
I thought all dwarves were.
They treat all. Oh wait, no, you're right. They would treat warhammers as proficient weapons.
No, fair enough. Hang on. I'm gonna
I thought it was only
corroborate that with an
dwarven
SRD.
things.
I did not know that.
Well, they gain proficiency, I think, with battle axes,
Hammers,
warhammers,
axes, and
they treat all dwarven weapons as martial weapons.
No, fair enough.
Weapon,
So he can use it, and he has a +1 warhammer, and he nods. It's still, the weight is kind of weird for him. It's obvious this is the fanciest weapon he's ever had in his life. But he'll watch over you.
All right.
I'll drag
Okay, Tommy.
a +1 mace
Sorry.
over Delvin. Here, use this.
Okay, Tommy. I'm gonna let you make the call on whether it would be within my if I would be within like reason to execute the knight or the tiefling. Because like I'll be honest, I'm a little lost. I'm a little conflicted on this.
Okay. The knight probably, there's one train of thought says that he's a blatant coward who has forsaken his ideals when things got a little too tough and deserves judgment. Maybe not necessarily punishment. Punishment is, however, a form of judgment. The tiefling, however, is like, I don't want to put too like harsh of a point on it because they're not mechanically better, but like the world wound, and also Grazik would know this from his time with Terendelev, is full of tieflings who are often the product of unfortunate circumstances and grow up in the world wound serving demons, and like he knows he's the stereotypical tiefling. He is an abjectly evil creature. Same with the Inquisitor. When she dies, she will go to the abyss. Executing them is fine. The knight is a little shaky at best. But definitely not an abject yes or no.
All right. Of course, the difference is that the Inquisitor is still probably more useful alive than dead.
She would know the most, probably. Well, the most at large, the knight has been up here this whole time.
Right.
Current information usefulness, the knight. Long-term usefulness is probably the Inquisitor. Least useful is the Tiefling. Most useful is probably the knight. Because if we can remind him of what he's supposed to do,
Okay.
he's useful.
You could also end up with a second Milorn.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to ask for you guys' permission to dispatch of one of them.
Then kill the Tiefling.
Yes.
If you must satiate your carnal urges, kill the
It has
Tiefling.
nothing to do with that, I promise you.
It is
Fine.
the
Carnal isn't always that way. I didn't think.
I am acting on cold lizard logic, but also on my own draconic morality here.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think you would suffer from doing so.
All right.
it is the right thing to do.
So here's how it's going to go. Once everyone's asleep, because I don't want to do it when people are, I'm going to
Not to interrupt you,
drag
but
out.
there will never come a point where everyone is asleep. I'm not necessarily going to organize the watch shifts, but there are more than enough NPCs that somebody's going to be up, especially because you guys are in very hostile territory.
Fair enough.
And
I'm going.
will volunteer to do it
I will do this.
as you wish.
Don't worry about it.
Let the lizard man have his meal.
I'm going to, to put it bluntly, taking him out back and sending him to the farm, I guess.
A long walk in the woods.
Okay.
Long walk in the rubble. I'm not gonna bite. I'm gonna be using my Lucerne hammer for this. Not gonna be biting into it. Basically, yeah, summary execution, I guess. But taking him out of the library where no one will be able to see it.
Okay. Do you want to do
And then I'm
this
gonna
quietly?
be making a few prayers as quietly as I can, I guess.
Part of the reason I said I would do it is because I have dark vision. Can carry him with no trouble.
I mean, I've got low light vision, and
There are enough fires burning in Canavras.
I'm strong enough.
Fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
believe me, I'm plenty strong enough.
So Grazik takes the body of the tiefling out back and disposes of it. It's thankfully quiet as you do so. You occasionally you hear the sounds of some demonic something or other, but they're very far off. Nothing interrupts you. Everyone stays silent. The execution is clean. The tiefling is knocked out and probably never knew what happened to him.
All right, I'm gonna go sit down in the corner and sit down contemplatively before going to sleep.
Okay.
Say a few prayers. I think what I did was the right thing, but I won't worry about that right now. There's other lives to protect.
As you say your prayers, Terendalev's scale that you carry grows faintly warm. Nothing else happens, but it's like it is warm to the touch, not like hot coffee hot, but like a hot hand. Comforting almost. Especially for the cold-blooded guy.
I
In any
will not
case,
let you down, Master.
the night
whisper.
passes. The night passes. In the morning, everyone gets up. Everyone puts their armor on. The casters have got all their spell slots back. People have healed. You guys hear outside. And his voice is probably somewhat familiar. Anyone still in there?
Is that Salon?
No, it is.
I
It
would imagine
sounds
it's
like
tiefling.
most of what you heard from the like, I'm getting out of here. Wah! Well, of course he doesn't talk like that, though it would be a little more fun, I suppose.
I am more confused now.
The tiefling who escaped the last encounter.
Ah. Where did it come from? Which side of the building?
And Kieran is gone. Out the front door.
Out the front door?
Yeah.
Okay. I will walk outside and see what's going on out there.
Okay. Anybody want to join her?
Well, Grazak is not one to leave a fellow scalyman walking out to her potential doom.
Yeah.
If you're just gonna wantonly walk out there, I'm gonna be following after you.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, no, Grandma, don't go out there by yourself just yet. Hold up.
Don't cross the street without your paladin. As the door
You forgot your walker, Grandma.
as the door opens,
So-
all of the soldiers who are going to sacrifice the girl, they all draw crossbows and point them down the open door. They arrange themselves like, get out of that, kitty. Like so. The three mongrels who are, and this is around the point that they realize that one of the tieflings is missing, but they ask no questions. They move around the prisoners. Lan steps up back here and withdraws the ranged weapon a mongrelman has that I forget what is. He has a sling, and he pulls a rock and starts spinning it as the knights aim down. Everyone else
My man.
goes real hushed. Milorn draws his crossbow as well. The casters stay in the back. Belthus and Nira go to the side. Clara stands in front of her mother. The tiefling steps forward. The map is kind of arbitrary. He's about 30 feet away from you guys. He has
I've got radiance, by the way. Sorry.
What's up?
Never mind. Sorry.
Okay. So the tiefling carries a dagger, but the dagger is not drawn. It's sitting in a crappy little sheath on his hip, and well, cracks his knuckles with his tail comes around and cracks his knuckles for him. You have a couple of friends of mine, and I would hate if something happened to them. I saw.
Perhaps you should join them.
I
Come,
look
we
around.
have a fresh pair
Did
of
he bring any
manacles for
friends?
you.
Do I need to do a search or
One
something
at a
for
time,
that?
boys. I hear what Grazik says. Tempe, make a perception check.
Okay. Perception check real quick. Nope, not that. This. There we go.
Kieran also sees not a whole heck of a lot of much.
Me either. I mean 10, but
Okay, so with a 10, it's really quiet. It's quieter than it was last night, and like in the night, there are always the sounds of demonic something or others. If you just see the tiefling. Anivia also stands up and draws her bow. She doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of arrows, but everybody is ready to shoot out that front door should something go sideways.
okay. Well, I will look at the guy and would you like to negotiate for their release, or what are you doing here?
Yes, that is the plan. And on that note, you had... Oh, I don't know who she was, but I don't think we treat friends that way, do we? He smiles. Jagged, demonic teeth bent several different directions gleam in the morning sunlight, a sickly yellow color. Maybe her as well.
Uh-huh. And what do you have that we would want to exchange?
Well, let's just say our new city is full of new friends of mine. All I have to do is go speak to them, and we'll kill you all, and then take them.
And you haven't spoken to them yet?
He just kind of smiles.
Sense motive then?
Yeah, that would be the check. Okay, that's a number. That's a pretty good number is what it is. I'm gonna give it a go. Boom. Yeah, it is super clear that this guy is not alone. He wouldn't have come back. He knows how many of you are here. One guy versus all of you guys, you would overwhelm him. He clearly has friends.
Any idea how many from Scent?
Sent from whose point of view?
And
The Compsognathus?
yep,
Okay.
he does have the scent feet.
Of course. Okay, so the familiars begin sniffing the. I'm gonna roll a d4.
Oh.
The d4 will be the direction
That's fair.
of the wind. Clockwise, with one being north. Okay, so that's fortuitous for you guys. The wind is blowing from behind the tiefling into the library. Both familiars smell something move into the library. You're not sure what, you're not sure how many, but something has flown in. In addition, the smell of like rancid beef. With sense, given the wind is in your favor, you can pick up, there are, in total, counting the tiefling, perhaps like 7, perhaps 8 or 9 individuals. Some of their scents are like something smells stronger and is thus bigger. Something smells fainter and is thus smaller. As you guys are looking around, are the familiars trying to hide the fact that they are sniffing the air? They're certainly at least 6 inch smart enough to.
Yes.
Then they would need bluff checks.
Okay.
Which uses its charisma modifier and your skill ranks.
Well, that's good because my modifier.
Okay. So the tiefling sees the Compsognathus sniff the air and kind of like growl a little. I see we've come prepared. All right. Jigs up then. He holds up 3 fingers. His prehensile tail comes up around him to like tick them off. Caleb, I guess you didn't ask for his name. My newest friend, my brother, and the woman. Or all of you die.
Losing things.
You are really confident, little one.
He nods. I guess he also needs to. Yeah, he has no idea where Kieran is. I don't have all morning. Make a choice. Now.
Count your argument, you disgusting little fiend. You and your cowardly friends hiding, leave now, or all of you die. I do not serve merciful gods like the other warm bloods here. I will not grant mercy to you
Okay, so we rolled initiative.
if you do not surrender. And that's an intimidation check.
Sure. We already rolled initiative. That's enough to kick combat off. Go ahead and make the intimidate check.
I will do that right now.
I'm sure.
Initiative. Okay, negative 98.
Yes, we know, Tim. You are slow. We get it.
Just as a question,
Yes.
is something in the library or is something smell blowing into the library?
Yes, both are accurate.
Okay.
So really quickly, I'm going to. When we switch back to Roll20, 4, 5, 6, boom. So one of those misses, but as Grazik says what he says, and the tiefling kind of like has a quick second thought, a rock, an arrow, and 4 bolts pierce him, and he drops on the spot. The sound behind you of some kind of creature making a not quite moo noise, not quite roar noise, as several other creatures begin to rush from around the corner, fills your ears. We have pre-rolled initiative because there are a lot of people in this combat, and first up is Kieran. Delvin is also unable to find anything that has moved into the library.
Kitty will move towards where he smelt something coming from.
Okay.
Inside the library.
That would be through the door towards the back. You would need another perception check to try to pick it off.
Kitty look.
Kitty look. Okay. So it smells like the room mostly smells like sweaty humans at this point, and it's a little confusing to the cat's scent, but they're like the faint smell of sulfur hovers in the air, in basically right on top of, like, if Clara's mom were to turn her head, she would contact something. The same is true of the wizard who is oriented to the right and the mongrelman who is oriented to the left.
Oh dear.
I tell Aravashniel to get rid of invisibility if he can.
He nods.
And Tiefling is down.
Yeah, that tiefling got... I'm not going to necessarily roll the damage, but he was there and the ready actions went off and he is very dead.
25, 30.
Wait, so was that him getting shot in the back by his comrades, or were those all the others behind us?
Again, ready actions behind you. Grazik probably felt the wind.
Okay.
I'll move here.
Okay.
And Kitty will move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 here.
Okay, so at
And I
that
believe
point, your cat can automatically detect there is an invisible something or other in the square to its immediate right.
Okay. I guess it will move into said square.
Okay.
And start hissing it wherever it thinks it is. Hopefully the mongrelman gets the idea.
It does.
And I guess I'm in the same square as Bad Thing? Or is it in her square?
You think it's in her square.
Okay. I will attempt an attack.
Okay. Give me the percentage dice first if you would. Unless you have blind fight and I didn't know about it.
I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
So,
Checking.
I'm sure you don't.
I don't know.
I'll just throw the percentage dice down real quick. You want high roll. Oh, you got it first. Fine, fair enough. Okay. You are... It's almost like instinctive. You just kind of whip up the sling and throw it, and it contacts something that kind of... It squeals out, kind of... Well, you speak Abyssal, right?
Yeah.
It's just... as a rock.
Don't I have to roll an attack roll?
Yes. It either dodges or it hits, but you are aware of it. That I'm sure hits.
And then there's some damage.
For that much damage. Okay.
I don't know if you want to say that it didn't know to know that I knew, and that gave it sneak, but I also was stealthing and came around a bookcase.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
Okay, so it hits. You see kind of the outline for a brief second of about the size of you flying thing. Takes a rock to the back of the head and kilters in its flight. Actually, that's even more relevant. Hang on. I might be able to fail this check. It doesn't fail the fly check. It doesn't fall. As you know, your sling is not cool enough to break the DR of what you're probably fighting, but you definitely hit it in the face. It's probably not the happiest.
Sneak attack damage is the thing.
Sneak attack damage is indeed a thing. Will that be all?
Yeah, because Kitty moved 35.
Understood. Alrighty. I will record the damage on that particular thing. Actually, really quickly, can everyone make a knowledge religion check now that you've heard a thing?
Yes.
As you guys are making that check, people are going to start moving around you. The wizard in the corner says something in an arcane tone, and his body is covered in what is clearly identifiable as mage armor. Grazik and Tempe both are able to put it together. So is Kieran, basically. Yeah, Delvin is the only one who has no idea what's happening, but everyone else realizes that if something really tiny and invisible has come in to the building, it almost certainly means that it's a group of quasits. These are creatures that can go invisible at will and are small enough to where they could just fly over everyone's heads, and if they're not looking when they're invisible, they have no real hope of seeing them. In any case, the wizard...
That was arcane, by the way.
Yeah, you can basically, it's a kind of a tertiary thing, and you beat the DC by a lot. In any case, the wizard in the back corner casts mage armor on himself. It passes to Delvin.
Okay, I'm going to take I would say that's a 5-foot step.
That's fair.
And readied action for anything that comes in, and is going to crawl back inside.
Makes sense. Alrighty, will that be all?
Yes, unless someone comes through the doors who's not supposed to.
There is one more in here that you know about.
Well, I couldn't get over there in time.
Think on him.
I'm sorry. No, I'm waiting on anything bad coming through the door.
Mm-hmm. So too is Anivia. She is next in the initiative, and she draws her bow. And just like there is an arrow pointed down, the wizard, oriented down, casts mage armor on himself. Several of the wizards cast mage armor on themselves. The mercenaries and Anivia aim their crossbow down, as Delvin is basically just baseball bat with his smatchet to swing down into something. And then the next thing that goes down is... I think it's actually... yeah. There's a 5-foot step that Kieran will be aware of in just a second. It's going to... This is resolving against your flat-footed as it breaks the invisibility to swing at you. Just as you had assumed, there was... Clara's mom now sees this, and so do to Clara, her parents, the casters, and this just laughing maniacally. Looks like a Baylor, but is much, much smaller. A quasit comes a-screeching at you. 5-foot step, and it's going to swing twice with its claws, resolving against your flat-footed. Boom. Oh, boom, I said. So I have a 24 and a 16 against Kieran's flat-footed.
Yep.
And then one more. I also have a bit. Yum, num, 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 num. 10 over your flat-footed?
No.
Alrighty, so if you could make me a pair of fortitude saves. Both of which are wildly successful. The Quasit drips venom from its teeth and its claws. Honestly, you probably just dodge the venom or like shake it off a little bit. As I grab...
I think it might actually be even better against venom.
Yeah,
I don't know if it
Alchemist
counts as
gets
poison.
resistance.
Yeah, it would. So a grand total of both of those are -1, so 3 points of slashing damage from its claws as it flies up into you, crackling maniacally. Clearly, it's just like it knows when it dies, it's not going anywhere too scary. And next is the mercenary reloads its crossbow, and this is for Tempe Grazik. If you two could make knowledge, nature, or religion checks.
Okay.
I want it. It looks pretty. I want it. We have a new pet. I want it. I need it. I need it.
Are you referring to the Quasits?
No, the giant bull thing.
I mean, don't judge Kieran. Kieran could redeem it. Take improved familiar. This is his new best friend. They're the same size. Is that the worst idea? Anyway, in any case, Tempe's not super sure what she's looking at, other than it appears to be a pretty large for its size bull aurochs. Grazik, however, the first thing Grazik notices is, and I guess Tempe also notices this, but is a little more concerned with the concerning events. The creature's mouth is full of jagged, sharp, much like that tiefling-esque fangs. Its hooves, its horns are covered in gore. It's very clear to Grazik that this creature something has happened to it at some point to take it from being a normal herd animal to something much more sinister. It is presently, its horns lowered, charging in the direction of everybody in a line. In a mechanical sense, what it is doing is it is going to try to trample. I'll start with Tempe and Grazik. You guys have a couple of options. Either this provokes. It's going to move through your square, but if you choose to have it provoke, it will, you can't try to dodge out the way, or you can try to dodge out of the way of this thing and it won't bowl you over.
I forget, is activating Smite a swift action or
Yes.
a standard action?
It is a swift action, which is only on
Swift,
your
not
turn.
immediate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fair point.
The question you have to ask now is, do you want to try to take a swing and then this bull is going to collide with you, or do you want to try to dodge out of the way?
Well, I'm moving out of the way.
Seems wise. Okay, if Tempe could give me a reflex save, then you will stay in the same square. It's a matter of
I'll be in the same. Okay.
dodging. Dodge. Also, your volume got a little quiet again, Tim.
Sorry, when I moved the mic away from my mouth so that I wouldn't breathe into it.
I appreciate that. Anyway, can I get a reflex save from Tempe then?
Yep, just give me a second here, Tempe.
I'm sure that's a... Yeah.
Does it still have to roll a CMB? I have very rarely used trample.
Yeah, same.
I overrun I'm more familiar with, and is trample overrun?
As a full round action, a creature with a trample ability can attempt to overrun any creature that is at least one size category smaller than itself. This works just like the overrun combat maneuver, but the trampling creature does not need to make a check. It merely has to move over opponents in its path. Targets of a trample take an amount of damage equal to a number. Targets of the trample can make attacks of opportunity, but at a -4. If targets forego the attack of opportunity, they can attempt to avoid the trampling creature and receive a reflex save for half, which Tempe has failed. The save DC is a number. A trampling creature can only deal trampling damage to each target once per round, no matter how many times it charges over. So then next for Grazik, would Grazik like to do
I'm still going to do Windy Step so that I can mitigate some of the damage.
Got you. Would Grazik like to do a stab or a dodge?
You know what? I'm gonna go for the attack. That's what Grazak would do.
Alrighty. Make it
But
so.
don't, on attack of opportunity, it's one single attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm taking that swing with Radiance. It's at a -4, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, you're wielding your Lucerne Hammer and you have combat reflexes, then the argument could be made that you swing with your Lucerne Hammer and then bite, but you only
I
get...
do not have combat reflexes.
Mythic combat reflexes will let you swing every time it provokes from movement. So that's a thing you might pay attention to for this game. But if you could make an attack with a -4 for me, Nick.
I will do that in a sec once I get to my actions.
Understood.
Okay. Just assume that I have the -4 right now.
Of course.
Oh, that's a shame.
And it misses.
You have a hero point.
You do indeed.
Can I spend that point to re-roll?
Yeah, if you would like to. Please do so.
I would. Oh, come on.
It's not a 1.
So you try to... What happens, I suppose, is like the bull comes a charge in and Grazak tries to grab it and just kind of slides, trying to ankle bite it. Despite Grazak's best efforts, this thing goes over top of you. The next thing that happens is this would be a qualifying action for Delvin. Delvin is in no danger of being trampled over, but it's definitely moving through the readied action.
Okay. Okay, with readied action, can I take a swift action as part of that? I'm going to attack.
Go ahead.
But I want to use a point out of my arcane pool.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let it go. That's fine.
Well, I figure I would be able to do so as soon as I see all in the line of charge, start to react.
That tracks. As you are deciding what to do, I'm going to... The mercenary facing upwards has had the time to reload her crossbow. She's going to take a shot. It provokes, but it's the weapon she's got out for a weird combat maneuver-y kind of thing. And she's in her threat range. Okay. So Delvin does hit.
Okay.
Does it confirm?
Does it confirm? I have a million tabs open right now. Going to Superstitious Mercenary, going in with that crossbow at a -4. It's a plus. It does not confirm. It misses real wide.
Okay. There's 1. There's 2. 9 plus 6 for two-handed gives me a total of 15.
Okay, and this is slashing damage?
It didn't miss at all. It just didn't get confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Slashing, it's both slashing and bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so you are able to. There's a little bit of resistance on this thing's hide as you cut down. Like when the bludgeoning bit would hit, you almost like bounce off, and then you are able to bite down with your weapon as you come into it. Did you say 15 damage?
Yeah, I'm sorry, 16. Because it's +1 enhancement.
Nice. Okay. So the same thing.
I spent that pool point to basically turn it into a +1 weapon.
That makes sense. Okay. As that happens, the mercenary fires her crossbow bolt, and it basically just like hits and dents. Not the bull. The bolt does. The bolt is shattered, but a little bit of ouchie goes through. Then we have people who are able to react from loaded weapons are now Lan and Anivia. So there's Lan, who misses, and Anivia, who hits for... Not that Anivia's damage is not that good. Malorn is going to try to dodge out of the way and succeeds. So Malorn will take half of this. Everybody else is taking... Well, Tempe takes half from Windy Escape. Everybody else takes the lot. As charging through to resolve in the square, he may hit some more people. Plus, I think that this monster comes straight out of the Wrath of the Righteous adventure path. It felt very flavorful for this. 12 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing careens 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's a hard stop here. It gets kind of like right up to Aravashnial. As it collides with a bookshelf, the bookshelf shatters. People start panicking and freaking out. Delvin definitely bites into it pretty hard. It's not happy as this bull has entered the china shop and is kicking, and the sound is kind of blah, mixed in together as blood drips down from its fangs. That 12 damage is enough to hurt a lot of people.
Oh boy.
All of the mercenaries are pretty rough. Like, they are unable to dodge as they try to like get out of the way, and they're just, this thing bowls them over. Lan, on the other hand, I am about 90% sure I'm gonna recheck his HP. Yeah, Lan looks real bad. His horn breaks off from the force of this thing just down on top of him. Anivia cries out in pain, but seems to be able to mostly hold her own, whereas I want to say, and I promise I didn't just do this because you recheck prisoners. I'm not salty. I think it's fun. But I have to recheck Malorn's hit points. As that's going on, the next player up after Debul is... we will say go ahead and Grazik can take his action as I'm doing math. He's technically the next PC up in the initiative order.
Oh, well, pain is weakness dissipating from the body. Now my rage. Or rather, my smite. Yeah, I'm smiting this thing.
Okay, it definitely pings.
Oh, 5, 10, 15, 20? Okay. And I'm going to just lay into this thing. I need to add my damage, though. So,
that would be good. As that's going on, Lan, very worse for wear, makes his way into the corner. He's barely able to stand as this thing has taken the breath and change out from him. The same is true for this mercenary, who will boop, boop, doot, doot, doot over here and then reload her crossbow. Whenever you're ready, Nick, go ahead and throw your damage at the board. I'm just going to keep moving people around in like real time.
Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Malorn gets out of the way too.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll two-hand the radiance for this attack.
Okay.
So that'd be an extra 3. Yeah. Please hit. Oh, sweet! I rolled a 20.
But you failed to confirm. You do not confirm, but you definitely hit. Oh, that'd have been nice though.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's roll for damage.
Okay.
Wait, why did 2 come up? Okay, I did not mean to roll for 2. Just take that 7, I guess.
Okay, so it's subtracted by 8. You have smote him. Flavor that kill.
Okay, hold on. Wait, there's a plus 12 there. I only have a... I think I did my damage completely wrong here. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead and reroll it.
Oh, yes, I did. I did the multiplier. That's
good.
Not what I meant. Okay. See if it works this time. Wait, why am I rolling? Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
A d8 plus what?
A d8 plus 7.
Plus 7. So then you've done 13 points of damage, which is still enough.
To kill it?
To kill it.
Plus like twice your charisma.
Mm-hmm. So flavor that kill if you would.
Oh. Well, I battered and bloodied with a huge gouge from its horn in my side. I'm immediately going into my righteous fury. I run up and I lob this thing's head off.
It half moves.
Letting out a big primal shriek.
Half moves, half hisses, and drops. Okay, so initiative is wibbly wobbly. That technically happened much, much later, but it's just to keep people moving. After that comes that. Lan has moved. The mercenaries have moved out of the way. The Mongrel knows there's something over its head and is going to try to swing at it, and just kind of waves frantically in the air and collides with nothing. The Malorn gets out of the way. There is whoop, beep, beep, ba-doop. Not you. Ba-doop. Yes, you. Okay, neat. So dropping out of invisibility, another Quasit swings down at this poor wizardy boy, who is unaware of the attack as it misses wildly, connects with his mage armor. The Quasit kind of like... The Quasit isn't like mechanically burned by the mage armor, but just cursing in abyssal. As that happens, Fenna mage armors herself, and at the outside, kind of right behind, the only person who really has good line of sight is Tempe. If Tempe could make a knowledge religion check.
All right, knowledge religion check coming up. Skills, knowledge, religion. There we go.
Nice. Okay, so at first glance, it kind of looks like a tiefling. At like second, third glance, you realize this thing is much more abyssal than some humanoid that simply has the taint. It stands about as tall as a human. It has a long bow on its back and carries a wickedly curved scimitar. Tempe is basically instantly able to identify this particular kind of demon is known as a cambion. It is what happens when a human male impregnates a succubus and the baby is born in the abyss as opposed to on the material plane. On the material plane, it would most likely come out a tiefling or like a half-fiend. In the abyss, it comes out as a true demon. Shrieking, it charges you. As I quickly go and grab the thing.
Grandma Thunder.
Grandma Thunder!
I was going to say Grandma Thunder Thighs, but that wouldn't work.
That is also incorrect. Do not say that one. That is not an accurate statement. Does a 19 hit Tempe's flat-footed?
Well, Tempe does not get flat-footed. However, a 19 does hit her AC.
Fine, you don't get them. Got you. So then adding 2 points of slashing damage. Bam! Will you roll in the thing? Thank you. 4 points of slashing damage as the scimitar cuts down. It smiles sadistically as Tempe's blood begins to spill out on the ground. Next up is... After that goes... Oh, goody. Dropping out of invisibility. I'm going to say that a lot. I'm just going to say that now. Dropping out of invisibility, as it 5 foot steps down another Quasit. It, in a mechanical, it has the room. It can enter the same square as Kieran's cat. As it does some claws and some bits. So first I have an 11, then a 15, and a 18 against the cat's standing. The cat has scent and knows something's there.
I don't think any of them hit.
Okay, fair
No,
enough.
the 18 does.
Nice. Could Kitty make a fort save for me?
Kitty can make a fort save.
Okay. That fort save is noted. So this is at -1. The cat takes 0 points. So it takes 1 non-lethal. As this thing bites into the cat, and the cat is not quite made of flesh and blood. So it's a little awkward, but it still bites in. Okay. And then as that happens, I need a D2. Despite the fact that it didn't really hurt that bad, the wound rapidly starts burning as the cat takes 2 points of dexterity damage as the Quasit's venom starts coursing through.
Immediately.
I believe the onset is immediate. There is no poison claw injury. Oh, wait, never mind. I lied. The bite doesn't poison. You did it. Never mind. No poison for you.
Yay!
Yeah! Then it's... The mongrels are gonna take a move action, and both of them are gonna swing at the closet. They see this thing, it bites into the cat. They move away from, apparently this man's name is Caleb, and our captured inquisitive friend
Caleb Sazamal.
Shajamal. No, he had a mace, not a maul, but I mean, whatever. I forgive.
He had a +1 mace.
He did. That hits. That hits. Can they break its DR? Becomes the question. From 2 attacks. Well. Okay. So the mongrels are very good at playing baseball with this closet, basically. It pops out of invisibility and just poof, poof, back and forth into the thing. They don't have magic weapons. Yeah. It's the mongrel, or not the mongrel, the closet kind of looks like it's having fun as this happens, because it obviously can absorb a lot of that damage. But there are points where in Abyssal, anyone who speaks Abyssal hears just, oh, can't stop it, that hurt, as it kind of just back and forths around. Aravashnial takes the time to mage armor himself as well. And the tailor just kind of, the tailor and his wife hide in the corner and hope nobody notices, as now I have a token ready. This one's not quite fast enough to charge, but another Abercondilu makes its way towards the door. Then it passes to... Actually, I lied. 2 Abercondilus make their way towards the door. Horgus has nothing to do. It passes to Tempe.
Okay, what is Tempe doing? I had a plan, and then... Are you able to hear me right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to spend this round healing, because it sounds like a few of our people are hurt, but now I've got 3 people in front of me. So I think I'm going to resort to the other plan I had. What are these things down here? These right here?
Those are They're the things you fought in the tailor shop.
Oh, okay.
The Shaylin haters.
Yes. They destroy all the beautiful things.
Precisely.
All right. I am going to cast... I'm going to cast offensively, which means I need to roll concentration real quick.
Indeed.
That's going to be enough for what I'm casting, which is Murderous Command on the dude in front of me.
Okay.
And he needs to make a DC 19 will save.
Nice. Could you roll spell resistance for me?
Spell resistance, that's...
D20 plus caster level.
Okay. And no other bonuses to that?
No other bonuses. Okay. So Tempe is able to keep it together as this thing continues to swing and bite. Utters the words, points her finger. The Cambion basically just blinks its eyes. Nothing else happens.
Yeah, there is spell resistance on that. Crap. I made the wrong choice.
Not necessarily. You just kind of rolled bad.
Well, yeah and no. But, like, I could have healed a bunch of people.
Mm.
Like, I could have healed all of these people over here. Well, that's about all I can do. Let me... I'll take a 5 foot over this way.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right.
And that'll be my turn.
Round the second, Kieran's up.
I will move to this side of Anivia, breaking sight.
Okay. It provokes from the closet, unless you would like to acrobatics. It's actually probably kind of cute, because the closet's about the same size as Kieran. If you didn't know better, it'd just be little...
Closets are adorable. If it weren't for the fact that they're evil little bastards.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we have a 14 over the CMD of this little one. Oh, little one, that does beat it. You're good.
Okay. And then I don't have to roll that anymore. So we do this.
Okay. A 22 hits. 24 damage is noted if you would flavor that kill.
It swings at me, and I dive underneath its claw and as it's following through, it can't maintain its position correctly because its wings can't keep up, and it turns its head a little too far, and my pebble comes in and just full face, like a massive face palm right to the head, and it just spirals to the ground.
Nice. Just boop. It spirals. It says something sadistic and horrible and kind of super villainy. I have to also imagine that I'll get you next time, Karen, as it poofs back to the abyss.
And then the kitty's hungry.
Well, there's a dead slab of beef in the middle of the room.
So
There is.
it will do like a cat and does to a bird, and it'll jump up and try and smote it.
I am totally keeping that thing's skull, by the way.
Kieran's familiar makes odd chirping noises, almost as if it were a quasit. And those are lots of rolls. Okay, so we're swinging over. It's flat-footed, so we're trying to hit a 14. So the only one that misses is the last one, and the critical confirms.
Okay, I can't see the rolls because I have to have information up.
Okay.
So what hit and what didn't?
The kitty bite hits, kitty claws confirms, the second kitty claws misses. So one bite and one crit from a claw.
Okay, so we have that, and okay, I don't know what just happened there.
I saw a 3.
I'm just gonna have to go to my actions page because those aren't working.
Ooh.
That works.
Okay.
And then we do this and we do that, and that's the crit.
The 11 is the crit.
Yeah.
Alright, so the first attack, the bite just kind of grabs it. It's not enough to break through its damage reduction. But after getting 1-2'd by the mongrelman, it's kind of spinning out of control as it heads towards the ground. The claw is enough. If you'd like your cat to flavor that kill against the demon, that's the thing that happened. Remind me not to make Achilles mad.
It jumps up into the air and it just bites onto its midsection and doesn't actually do enough to do a whole bunch, but it's connected, and then it like paws at its mouth to try and like rip it in half, and succeeds marginally, if not entirely.
The bite, it was, Kitty wants to play! And then it gets ripped apart and it scream laughs, and the cat tastes sulfur as back to the abyss goes another quasit. Anything else?
No.
Alrighty. It then passes to this wizard here, who's going to... Yeah, he's gonna say some words in the arcane power, and the quasit, who probably... Nice. I have to assume the quasit doesn't have spell resistance. Yeah, you guys see a little streak of force come out from in the corner of his hand, and the quasit just kind of like gets thunked in the back of the head by what everyone is clearly able to identify as magic missile. It passes to Delvin.
Delvin, who is muted?
Delvin, who is muted? Or dead? Jason!
Nope,
Texas is burning.
I'm back up.
There we go. Alright, fair enough. Just immediately assume the whole state's in danger.
Sad thing is, me waiting at the door worked so well last time.
Yeah.
Just want to... But no, I need to... yeah, I will... cast shield on myself
Alrighty.
and hold an action for anything that comes through. And I will send my familiar racing up to help Kitty and Kieran. So
The
that's
battle
going to
of the tiny
be
creatures.
10, 20, 30, 35, 40.
Okay, duly noted.
And that's as close as he can get for now.
Alrighty. So then in that case, it passes on to, after Delvin goes Inidia, who is... how's she looking? Let me double check her health. She might... Oh, actually, she's dead! Oopsie. No, she's not. She's not dead. I assume she has more than 12 hit points. Otherwise, they gave you the wrong NPC. This NPC is made to die. She's not looking the best, but determined. She draws her bow, and she's going to fire at the Cambion. Does she... She's going to do what she can. She is a little, like, Delvin can clearly see that she can't quite get a bead on the Cambion because there's a lot of, like, dancing back and forth. She says a quick prayer, just, Iomedae, guide my bow. And poof, off goes the arrow at basically a +2. After all the negs from no precise shot. Give your characters precise shot! Well, maybe not.
Public service amounts.
Maybe she don't need it. Okay, so the Cambion. That does indeed connect. Tempe and Delvin see this arrow fly true and stick the Cambion in the chest. It hisses out as... Oh, fortunately, this isn't Kingmaker. For half a second, I'm like, oh, it's flat-footed. Haha, someone's in melee with it. But that's not how life works. It stumbles back as the arrow sticks into its chest.
Would make life a lot easier. So that would make life a lot easier.
Yeah, it is a thing that they have done. I will say that. The Quasit catches the one remaining Quasit takes a single point of force damage as the first magic missile to be cast at it hits it in the head, and it kind of like cartwheels with it, and the second one just kind of like slaps the back of the tail. Here's a 5-foot step forward. As part of that 5-foot step, the swordsman drops her crossbow. She draws her, I believe, longsword. Why, yes. And is going to try her luck against the Cambion as well.
She is blocking my path to get there. No.
She is full of bravery. And actually, she does indeed connect. So, okay. And Tempe, kind of like secondarily Delvin, but mostly Tempe, can see that these attacks are all cutting through. There's nothing that really seems to like slow down the piercing, in this case of the longsword, that like pushes forward into the Cambion, who basically lurtzes it, grabs it, smiles wickedly, pulls in, growling in. He's not really speaking Abyssal, he's just kind of making noise. Then we have, I think actually, to be honest, enough magic missiles thrown to... Unless they just roll really bad. Yeah, the remaining 2 wizards throw down magic missiles, and it's enough to send... Whoa! I deleted the wrong guy, and he dies. They hit their friend. Oh no! Come back, wizard. You can be our new friend. I'm looking in tokens for wizard. There you are. Oh, bwam! He cast Mythic Enlarged Person. And that's how big he feels as he's killed a Quasit.
Hey, Delvin was feeling a little inadequate. He was feeling like a real dwarf for a moment.
Fair enough.
This whole game, you've been complaining about being too big.
Not anymore. Now that he's on the surface, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Then we have a bunch of people who do nothing, basically, because they're... Well, Lan is too hurt. The mercenary facing... She's feeling brave. She's gonna move here. I know there's no board here. There is 5 feet of space between... She is made... You understand. The Cambion sees this, and as she draws her sword and shouts out, "For Sarenrae!" As she moves forward, the Cambion smiles wickedly, and Scimitar goes a-swinging to no avail.
These brazen fools, they are blocking my path.
16 hits. They might be doing more than that.
They may be stealing your kills.
They definitely, the Cambion is rapidly realizing it bit off more than it could chew. It's as he swings, he misses real wide, and then the knight swings back and cuts him like in the armpit. He hisses out as his blood drips down onto the ground and hisses somewhat harmoniously. As that's happening, Malorn is just kind of staying out of sight at the moment. Well, no, he's not. Malorn is a brave boy. He's the bravest boy. He's going to move. He reloaded his crossbow. He's going to shoot him a Cambion. No, he's not.
No, I'm surprised he wouldn't try something like net or grease.
At this point,
Big
Grease
ones
would
it
be...
is.
He could cast Grease, but there are a lot of people in the way. And I imagine Grazik's not quiet about the fact that he's turning around and trying to get back over there. However,
Yeah.
on that note, a magic missile from the woman librarian snaps through the room and spirals, and when it connects with the Cambion, it kind of just winks out of existence. I think we're on Grazik now, aren't we? Yeah, we're on Grazik now.
I think so.
The mongrels are just
Okay,
going
let's
to
see.
continue to hold the line. Aravashnial begins incanting, and his hands are bathed in arcane light.
Would you say they're almost going to hold the door?
I might say
Shut
it's
up.
more like he's going to summon a thing.
So how many of these guys looks like they're left?
3.
No, the mongrel men.
Oh.
Hold the door.
Now,
Oh,
if I moved here, can I double move again to go from here to here? But that would provoke an attack of Oh, whoops! I accidentally grabbed the mercenary token. That is not
That's
what I meant
not
to do.
you.
It is not me. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You could double move it.
If
In
it
a
provokes, that's fine.
In a flavor sense, the Cambion is too busy to swing at you. In a mechanical sense, he does not have combat reflexes.
All right. I will step over here then.
Okay.
Come at me.
It turns and hisses.
Raw. Grazak roars in turn.
Alrighty.
And I guess I'll use a. Actually, no, because I already double moved. I can't use a swift action, can I?
You can.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll pop off lay on hands then.
Sure.
All right, that's a 5 plus 2 because I have Fey Foundling.
Seems good.
Yay. All right, and that's it for me.
Okay, so you have double moved and performed a swift action. Graz is
have.
done. Belfus and Nira are still going to do nothing. The Abercandilu. Yeah, they recognize a servant. Yes?
Nothing.
15.
Mine was out of game stuff. I keep wanting to hear abracadabra whenever you say their name,
It's close.
and I get really confused.
Them abracadabras, they're doing some move actions, and Lucia kind of ended up in the same boat when we were making this encounter.
Did
That's
someone
what
just provoke an attack of opportunity from one of these knights?
They did. I'm resolving a couple of other things. Thank you for reminding me. I did notice it. We no longer need the rules for trample because the bull did his job. Actually, his job was kind of to just knock the door down. But the door was open, so that was real nice. So here's an Abercandilu. It provokes from... One of them provokes from Grazik as well.
I am gonna chop down on his hideous demon face.
Okay. So too will the knight. Whoop. Wham.
Ah, wow. I'm really getting I'm
Yeah.
getting cheated today. Oh well.
Welcome to Pathfinder. Stepping in, the knight is able to hit the Apricandile, but her sword just kind of glances off.
Hey, at least every other attack that he's putting out isn't a crit.
That's
If
fair.
only.
That is a thing. Okay, so
Been
we're
there,
gonna-
done that.
Why yes. Why yes we have. Okay, let's attack Grazik. That should be fun. Ooh, boom. A 23 to hit.
That just barely hits me.
And then the second one will do the same. For a 23 to hit.
Yep. Damn.
Plus
Oh, well.
that. We should be Ooh, that's gross. That's real gross. Okay, if you could
I don't
make
like
two
the sound of
fortitude
that.
saves. If you can make two fort saves for me.
I will try. I don't like the sound of this.
Yeah, wait till you hear the flavor text.
All right. Well, at least I have a really good fortitude.
A 19 is
think-
very good. A 13 is
13, not so
exactly
much.
the number you needed. Okay, so as these guys bite down on you, like the scales around where they bite, the color kind of like drains out of them. As that happens, so too drains Grazik's sense of self-worth. Yeah, right. That is the meanest thing.
That sounds like charisma damage.
And it would have been a -2 penalty on charisma-based checks, stacking up to a -5, lasting after the wounds are healed. But fortunately, you're able to shake it off. The strength of your faith cannot be broken by these monsters. But this is from 2 attacks. For the purposes of any DR things, you might have 13 points of damage as they bite into you.
I am looking less than good.
But you're still pretty, so it's okay.
In
Then,
the eternal words of Taylor Swift, shake it off.
I mean, I like Taylor Smith better, personally. I think she's a much better artist. Horgus is terrified. Tempe's up.
All right. Let's see. You've taken some decent damage.
Tempe takes a 5-foot step back and
Yeah.
channels? Question mark.
Well, if I do that, I'll heal them too, I think.
You will, yeah.
At this
Yeah.
point, do we care?
Tempe looking around can tell that Grazik's not doing very good. The soldiers standing next to you are both pretty, like their armor is probably physically dented from where that bull ran over top
Right.
of them.
Yeah.
Everyone behind you is in a similar situation.
Yeah, okay. I'll take a 5-foot step back here just so I can get a couple more people, and I will heal a bunch of people's for 3 points of health. Yeah, that'll help.
I mean, it does. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That extends all the way back to Kieran.
Yay!
It almost hits though. Oh man, that would be Tempe realizes, because I've just realized. You should be careful where you channel energy with the people who are holding non-lethal damage, as they may thank you for when they wake up.
Ah, right.
Everyone
I knew. I actually didn't even think it would go as far as Kieran, so
it's 30 feet, right?
I knew it wasn't going to go over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 30.
Yeah, so it just barely
Probably
hits Kieran.
just hits Kieran. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, wait. Is the demon bull dead or just unconscious?
It is dead.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I was
hard.
about to say.
That would be really mean when he starts deleting tokens and then we start healing.
Yeah, it is
to go,
mechanically
oh, by
dead.
the way,
Though you're right, I shouldn't have deleted it. It would be at like minus. Well, it would at this point. It was at -2, and then it would have ticked down. So it's like stable and unconscious or dead. In any case, the bull is not back up in the China shop because I did delete the token. Razik is healed for 3. All of the demons are healed for 3. Everyone has now. The NPCs who got oped by a bull have taken 9 points of damage. And if that's all from Tempe,
Yeah, that's it.
around the third, it passes to Kieran.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Is you small or is you tiny? I think you small.
Cats are tiny.
Cats are tiny. Is it a goal or is it not a goal? I don't know. We'll find out later. +2.
You kids
Okay.
and your hockey games.
Your kids in your hockey games?
Yeah, he said he was watching the Blues game, and he said, "Is it a goal?" So I assume.
Oh yeah.
A 20 looks real good.
Okay.
Man, this cat is monstrous.
You can hear him increment. I want me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We'll go with 25 to here. I'm definitely within range.
Okay.
I will. Nope. I always want to just land on the number buttons, but I need this button first for the movement. Because that is less than 50.
Like a leaf on the wind.
And
Watch me
then
fly.
we will do this on the red button.
On the red book. All right, 24
I know
definitely
I
hits.
hit the buttons in the opposite order. I don't understand why it does the damage like that.
Oh, that's weird. In any case, between you and the cat, it is enough to flavor that kill.
No, cat didn't do damage.
Fair. Okay. Well, nevertheless.
Cat acrobatics to get into it.
So you would have, yeah, I get it. The 21 damage is enough if you'd like to kill a demon with a pebble. Flavor that kill.
Straight in the eye hole.
And it cackles maniacally and poof.
As it crumples to the ground unconscious.
As it goes back to the abyss as a true outsider.
Yeah, okay.
Fair.
I guess I did enough damage.
Mhm.
He did take a bunch of damage already, though. Yeah, that's fair.
I'll say as he does so, he drops he had a bow on his back and it kind of like lands on the ground, clattering alongside his scimitar. But his body is gone. And if that's all from you,
Yep.
passes to Delvin as another bolt of energy comes whizzing through the door. And let me make sure the abracadabras. Nice. No SR here. He's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he has line of sight out the door, and may the odds be ever in his favor. Good enough. A couple points of damage as the abracadabra gets wounded in the back of the head. Delvin, you're on.
Okay. Do the lizard come? Should take him there because that's 40.
Okay.
And
Second, I thought you were talking about Grazik. I'm just going to put that out there.
I almost did too for a moment.
yes, I will come up with a better name for him.
Snappy.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Snappy.
Either that or
We don't have to workshop this now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got a couple weeks. Figure it out then.
Chompy. Okay.
Chomper.
Jamie the Compy.
Am I okay? Can I step over the mercenary?
Yes, you can move through their squares because they are allied with you. You just cannot end your
Okay.
movement in their in that arc, basically.
Okay, because I want to be here so I can thunk the demon beside me strongly upon the head.
That makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bam. Ignore the rod that I've just revealed. You are here. It provokes from the Abracadilu.
Mhm.
He biting in, goes his teeths at a 18 to hit you.
Hits.
And if you could make a fort save.
The bad part of me wants to say fort save. The question is, can I pass one?
You got this.
No,
Yeah, that's
I
exactly
may
the
not.
number.
That barely made it.
You
That was
did
the same
indeed.
number I rolled.
And
I got a 2-for-1 clap then.
And 4 points of bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage as you move past, and this thing bites through the shield, and like you feel it squeeze into your leg. And that is the end of my interruptions. If you'd like to do a swing.
Very, very, very large and unhappy dwarf.
Classic.
Come on, boys.
13. Considering you are swinging at his flat-footed, it still misses. He has not a lot of dex. It bounces off his skin.
He's flat-footed?
He's technically flanked.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyone speaks Dwarven, they're hearing unpleasant things.
Malorn echoes it. The remaining demons seem to not understand. If that's all from a Jalvin,
That's all I can do.
Anivia needs to step out, I think. Yeah. 5, 10, 15, 20 as she goes a hobbling. Tries to fire in at this Scarrow monster. And Anivia's doing work. Okay, Anivia hits. Well done.
That's a 12, right?
That's with she normally adds a +6 at the moment.
Ah.
Actually, it should be one higher then. And considering he qualifies, okay, nice. Boom. Anivia is able to stick this thing right like between the eyes as it looks over. The arrow breaks as it hits. It obviously the creature doesn't feel the full force of the blow, but it's much like when Kieran gets in there, there's gonna be a bruise, there's gonna be a welt. She hit right where she needed to. This thing turns and hisses and oh, we're not smart enough to retreat. Good. I'm so glad I'm playing with creatures that aren't smart enough to retreat. 15, 20, 25, 30. Here's a D4. Here's another magic missile for 2 more points of damage on the same guy. Just boop! It continues hissing, spitting.
Hey,
yes,
it's damage. I'll take damage.
indeed.
Yeah.
So then there are 2 more, +2. The remaining wizards, librarians, 30, 5, 30, and 7 more damage goes through as she's technically 5 feet away. Yeah, she's gonna give it a go with her longsword. The captain of the guard from earlier, not of the guard, you understand. The mercenary who wanted to kill the poor innocent child. She has realized the error of her ways, and she's gonna take her frustration out on the Abercondilu and hit. 4. I'm gonna put that over here because I'm gonna need a longsword damage dice a lot in this AP for a couple more points of damage as everybody basically just starts kicking the teeth in on this thing. Her sword glances off, but it's bleeding a little weird looking demon blood. Lan and that mercenary are still a little too beat up. There's 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, she can make it. Swinging in, the second mercenary with her longsword connects for that much damage for another 2 as these guys cry out in frustration as their weapons can't quite pierce the hide of this thing. Aravashnial's summoning is complete. He calls... What does he call? We'll say it's going to look a little weird and really giant. He calls a wolf. It 10, 15, 20, 30. It's going to start moving around, but it can like double move to here, basically. I think it passes to Grazik, yeah. Malorn's going to take a quick pot shot.
Does it smite?
Which ones
Does the wolf
do
smite?
I smite?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Which one's looking the worst right now?
The one facing down.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to go for the one on my left right now.
Okay.
So, full attack. First. Oh, wait, what am I doing? Okay. First with Radiance.
That connects. Override button.
Do it.
Okay, so the next question I had, and yeah, y'all could tell we had to disconnect. Oops, a daisy. Is Radiance being swung two-handed or one-handed?
It's been swung one-handed.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for your claw. The Radiance did hit. The claw will do half damage as you are wielding a manufactured weapon.
Uh-huh.
Gee,
Okay,
guys,
just a
wouldn't it be horrible if I didn't save the notepad file that initiative was on? No, I got it. I definitely did. That was the first thing I did.
Half strength damage, you mean, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Let me make sure that number is in there. I'll just slap a -2 on there. Okay. Oh, not a -1, a -2. Oh,
Can
wait.
you reveal
No,
the
the
Jason?
multiplier is on. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Nah, Jason doesn't
All right,
exist.
let's roll for that.
He's gone. Goodbye, Jason. That does connect.
All right. Now for my damage. Dang it. All right, let me roll for Radiance's damage first, and now for the claw attack.
Okay. Understood. So Radiance cuts through, and as that happens, the Abercondilu turns and his spit chitters at you as the blade comes across. Your claw kind of just bounces off.
All right, that's fine.
If that is all,
It is all for now.
it goes to my Abercondilus, and they will. This one's gonna actually. I think they're the most angry about our paladin still. Heavy lies the ground. They're gonna swing in. You're not flanked, unfortunately for them. And we have a dirty 20 to hit and
That
a.
does not hit me.
Okay, so a 20 misses and an 8 misses.
Yeah.
Does a 20 miss? Does 20 really miss?
Let me double check. Okay. Oh, wait, no. I'm at exactly 20 AC, so he barely hits.
Fort save it is then, sir.
I will make that. Try to make that fort save. I'm
You
not
will
going to jinx
try.
myself.
You do indeed make that fort save. Have 8 points of bitey damage from an ugly rat thing. And it's the top of the next round. Or no, it's not. It's Tempe's turn. Tempe gets a turn. It's the bottom of the round.
Yeah, give Tempe a turn. All right. All right. So
I am
they
looking bad.
just went. All right. So they make things. Well, let me see. Would that make things easier? Yeah, I'll do it just for the fun of it. I'm going to run in between these enemies here, and oops, I picked up the wrong thing. And then to the other side of him, giving them both a chance to hit me.
Okay.
After I cast Defender, Boon of the Defender.
Understood. So I have a 10, which misses real bad. And I have a 11, which misses
also
real bad.
misses real bad. So that'll take away their attacks of opportunity from this point until their next turn.
Okay.
And then I did the Boon of Defender as my other action, and I've got my weapon out so that I can be a person on the other side of this dude here.
Makes sense.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yep, and that'll be the end of my turn.
And on to Kieran it goes.
Kitty will 5 foot.
You don't need to 5 foot. It can no longer attack you when you move in.
But you should 5 foot so you can still full attack.
That's true.
That hits.
Why you air out?
Why you air out? The questions we ask ourselves.
Let's try this again.
Okay.
Nope. Okay. I have to move you because apparently you're dumb. So, uno momento, por favor.
Okay. What do you roll to hit? Or for damage rather? That
that.
Okay, fair enough. 2 points of damage gets through.
And then we do this. And we go and cry.
Okay.
And we do that.
The 14. I'll say, well, the 14 hits, and we're not going to worry about the fumbles. Maybe I don't necessarily want to run that kind of game. Yeah. The 1 just misses. I don't do anything on a fumble. 14 hits for more crying.
Okay. Apparently, my claws aren't working.
Weird.
So let's do this.
Okay. Duly noted. The claw
then-
hits, bounces off.
I'll move over here.
And now we have Connect 4.
We do. Pretty sneaky, sis. 28 hits. Or no, 28 is a stealth check. They got nothing. Unless they have... Yeah, no. Okay. 13... 13 would miss.
Damn.
And
Yeah, that's me.
Alrighty. Delvin, you're on as another D4 comes whizzing past you. Got it. Taking away this guy in front of you. Passes to Delvin.
Yep. Chumpy runs in for his bite.
Okay.
So
Did he drop?
Chompy sick balls.
Easy.
And if any of you, please tell me you guys got that reference.
Yeah, I've seen the Sandlot.
It's not the sick spot.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I think a 20 hit
20 does hit.
at D3 minus 1 plus the poison.
Am I immune to poison?
So that'd be 1 point damage.
And he's immune to poison.
And oh man,
The Compsognathus bites in. The African dealer seems to mostly ignore it.
well, and now it's my turn.
Mhm.
Full round action.
Does it power attack?
I don't have that feat.
Nor
World
would
is
his
squared.
familiar.
We're playing off elephant in the room rules. You can power tech whenever you want.
If you have a bab.
If you do have that.
How big a bab?
Either way, the extra
A-Bab.
one wouldn't be enough to break its DR. Or the extra 2, rather.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. So I just
And it misses.
I really wish that I could stack more arcane points in this, but not yet.
Give it a
Well-
couple levels.
That does it for me.
Alrighty, Anivia fires in and connects for, honestly, 7. That's enough. Anivia, like, you swing and it misses, and your Compsognathus runs up and bites into the arm of the thing, and it doesn't really pay attention, but it looks down long enough to be distracted, and Anivia's arrow pierces through it, and it collapses. There's a faint half smile on this girl's face as she draws another arrow. And so basically what happens next is, plus this, there are 3 magic missiles that will come at it for 12 points of damage. We're going to slide over here and we're going to stab at it to no avail. The other mercenaries are still, people are kind of just not necessarily getting organized back here, but they're staying in the back, worried that more quasits might sneak in when they're not looking, more or less. And it passes to Grazik after this wolf. Bark! The wolf
Bork.
misses. Bork.
All right. All right, here we go.
That hits.
Hits.
That also
My
hits.
claw hits. You know what? Just for the hell, I I don't need to roll my bite attack just yet.
Nice.
Woo!
Okay. I think that was enough. I need to go
Max
back.
damage time 2. Nice.
That was max damage. But dang, that is math. Is what that is. Okay. Yeah. Flavor that kill.
I come in with what I shout out. I am the talons. Slash with the sword. I am the fangs. And slash the claw. I am his fiery breath that burns the shadows clean. And then he collapses to the ground.
Okay. And poof, they disappear back to the abyss. There's the sound of more demons in the alley behind you as they scurry back far and away from the library. Clearly there were reinforcements that didn't like their odds. A cheer goes up from behind you. The soldiers beat their longswords on their shields. The casters prestidigitate little fireworks over their heads, and Nira and Belfast hold each other. So do the Clara family. The mongrelmen basically do the same thing, just pounding clubs against the wall and cheering. And your first skirmish as a little babby army is complete.
All right. Speaking of it being complete, I'm gonna have everyone that was damaged huddle up within 30 feet around me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast until everyone's close enough to full health.
First,
Yeah,
So-
you might want to step outside to do that.
before we do that,
I am outside of 30 from the dudes over here, so that's
Okay.
Okay.
that's why I'm next to the door, and having everyone come near me.
Yeah,
All right,
she's
so the first one is health. Does anyone need more?
all of the NPCs that took damage from the Aurochs have 1 damage on them now.
I can top myself off.
don't forget you have Foundling.
I know.
Okay. I'll do one more just for the fun of it. If everyone still has 1 damage on them.
Okay, sure.
So 9 more should take care of everybody.
Yeah, the soldiers, they all come up and clap you on the shoulder. Anivia just kind of smiles and thank you, my friend. Horgus continues to be Horgus in the corner as the mages. Oh, I forgot there's a thing. The soldiers begin dragging the body of the Aurochs out of the library. It's pretty big.
Oh, that's what that thing was.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot what my max health is.
Oh,
That's
good job.
bad.
That actually still leaves me with 5 uses of that today.
Nice.
I'll help drag it out.
As will I.
Okay.
But my
I
new
would like to
ride.
mark. I'm gonna keep its head though.
Okay.
That actually reminds me, I still have 2 exhumed heads sitting on my belt loop.
Oh, yes, you do.
Does anybody know?
Gentle Repose lasts weeks at a time.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, the witch casts Gentle Repose on it.
Oh, I thought it only lasts 24 hours or something. Anyway, after being healed, I guess I don't have to do this now, but at some point I'm gonna be going out and flaying that skull and wearing it as my own.
Okay. It is much, much bigger than your head.
Aww.
You certainly can. I'm not saying you couldn't make a craft check out of it, but it's
But-
wiggle thing.
Meta, I should be able to help you with that.
Yeah.
I'll make a survival check to flay the skull, and then you can fashion it into a armor helmet if you want.
Okay, between everybody, yeah, you can. There's a lot of, I guess, the front end of the bull, where the its snoot and teeth basically have to be shorn off, and that's where your head sits to make it be about the right size. Yeah, it makes sense.
But before we spend a lot of time here, I'd stick my head in the door and say, we need to leave now.
Yeah,
Everyone nods.
If this group came, more will come.
absolutely.
Yeah. Everyone to what's his nuts
So
house?
do you want to? So we're gonna go to his house and not down to the down below first.
Yes,
Okay.
Horgus.
Two whole desires.
If we find a cart along the way, that would be wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Or an abandoned wagon, because technically I can do it.
This is a big city. I would be surprised if there isn't anything like that, to be honest.
Yeah, you definitely could find one. To what end?
And that,
To load people on.
yeah, the folks and the prisoners and Aravashniel and some of our archer
Anivia?
and
And if
Anivia, because it should make things go faster.
Yeah, that definitely tracks. A blind man, two very old people. Yeah, you're able to find a cart that's, or not a cart, more like a stagecoach that has mercilessly been spared the brunt of the violence that's gone down in Canabras. It's able to hold perhaps like 8 people.
Oh,
oh wait, only 8 people.
That would be enough for the prisoners, the guards, and then the family that can't fight.
That
And
is
I
correct.
think that would be enough.
Okay.
So fortunately,
yeah.
Horgus actually doesn't live super, super far from here. He lives, if I'm doing my math right, and I am, yeah, he lives about half a mile from where you guys are
Okay.
right now in the Gate District. You make your way, if you're on the very southern end of the map, swinging around Canabras up to the north and east. Thankfully, nothing really bothers you. Everyone's kind of on watch at this point, and you can tell also that the people around you have, after that victory, they've gained a certain degree of confidence. The soldiers and the mongrelmen march in formation. The wizards are right behind them. What remains of the library is packed into the wagon, or the stagecoach, I should say. It's a considerable amount of stuff. And after not a whole lot of time, again, it's only about half a mile from here, so hour, 2 hours-ish of walking, you guys do make it to Wareham Manor. In the middle of all of the mess that Canabras has become, Horgus's manor seems to have escaped without damage.
That makes me
Imagine
super
that.
wary of Horgus.
Interesting.
But okay, let's go check it out.
Well, if you guys want to make checks, I certainly won't stop you.
All right. Well, let's do sense motive for starters,
Okay.
and then maybe like a check for magic or something. See if something's going on.
Like where specifically?
Well, this would be on Horgus, for the sense motive anyway. And then I do not have knowledge arcana or anything. I'm not sure what would be a good knowledge check to figure out why this hasn't been hit.
The sense motives are enough. You guys get there, and Horgus, who's been riding in, well, no, he doesn't have room, and he knows it. He's been grudgingly walking alongside as as Delvin basically rickshaws this stagecoach, I have to imagine. He moves forward, unlocks his gate, begins looking around and grumbling, well, all my servants at, oh my gods, they just up and left, and where's my family vase? Someone's come and stolen it from me. He continues like moving up to his house, and somehow that door has also remained locked. You guys can figure that Horgus's house stands because it wasn't important, basically. This is not a military target. This is just some dude's house. Given, like, if Canabras does not recover, it probably eventually will fall. But Horgus is not a military target. He's just a rich dude.
That's
well, he wasn't a military target. If he has a working house, this has just become a military target. Because we're staying here now.
Yeah, we got a new home base. Speaking of new home base, just to keep everybody on track, it is 4 days before the mongrel men reach the surface. Horgus's manor it doesn't have a map or anything. It's pretty big, though. There's more than enough room. There's probably enough beds and couches and things of that nature to where everybody in the squad has a safe place to stay. Of course, like, should the manor come under attack, its safety is, like, this place wasn't built to be defended. It's just big.
Well, we're going to have to fix that.
I'll fly over to a Horgus.
It's easier to fix that here, though, than in a place that's already half destroyed.
By the way, any wealthy baubles or other knickknacks or stuff that rich people have, Grazak is probably touching everything that he finds.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Like a lot of the stuff is gone.
Like a curious animal.
The house has been locked. Everything. The house has been locked, but a lot of the like really valuable stuff you can tell because there's dust on marble plinths, and then there's like a spot in the dust where once sat a thing. Horgus continues to just like bemoan how all of his values have been stolen by the help, and then he sees Kieran flying towards him and just, well, what do you want, little one?
If there was dust found something that was just taken, I have to assume his people were already just not liking him and not doing their jobs.
Possibly a fair assessment. In any case, Horgus looks at Kieran.
About that monetary compensation.
Oh, I suppose that's fair. Hopefully they haven't gone in the vault. These freeloading good-for-nothings tarnishing the name of Guerim. I'd really like to say Guerim in this voice because this voice is really good to say Guerim as he moves to the back of his house where well and truly sits a locked tight vault, and grumbling he does pass out. Everyone in the party receives 2,000 gold pieces. Now, okay, everyone who's a PC receives 2,000 gold pieces. We are not breaking out money for the mongrels.
Is discussions of exchanging currency truly an important matter right now?
Oh, did any of us that think to go through the pockets and stuff of the things that attacked us? Because I know I didn't.
1 masterwork scimitar, 1 masterwork composite longbow with a strength rating of, I will tell you in a second. That's the only loot, though. A dagger on the tiefling.
Yeah, so a masterwork
scimitar.
Composite.
And a masterwork composite longbow with a strength rating of 2.
I guess we were gathering everything that was important to put on the thing, so it makes sense that we would have gotten it.
So as this is going on, Horgus grumbles, this like passing out these giant sacks of gold. Just thank you. Of course. Eventually, you all recognize my importance immediately, but you did a most adequate job. Yes, most adequate job of getting us to the surface. And, you know, you might even say above average for my new neighbors.
At that, I'll take a knee, put a full-sized hand out to shake his hand and say, thank you for honoring your word.
He takes your full-sized hand by the ring finger with his normal-sized hand and shakes it. And, well, I suppose y'all want to be staying here then.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the best way to
Yeah.
protect your house.
Oh, that's that. You know what? You know what, neighbour? I think that's the smartest thing you've said this whole time. Well, yes, of course. All of you are welcome to stay in Guerum Manor. At this, Land moves up and looks around and, shall I take my warriors down to inform the chief of proceedings?
Yes.
How many shall I take with me?
One?
Send 2 of your sneakiest compatriots.
Yeah. You don't want to go in big groups.
He nods. A couple of the mongrels dip out. I feel like, I know we're not leveling for a little while, but I feel like after a big encounter like that, you guys should get some kind of reward, though. Over the next...
Like
it's...
2,000 gold.
That encounter was homebrew. I made up that encounter myself. Over the next couple of hours, the librarians who have, they still refer to Aravashniel as Lord Aravashniel, and if they ever need to talk to any of you, it's Lord Grazik and that kind of stuff. But everyone, like I said, has a greater sense of unity and fighting together, and that's because they are inspired by the presences of the 4 of you.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Grazik
Maybe instead
of
of
the Lord.
you giving us a level, you give everyone else a level.
Deal. Because it is worth mentioning that Wrath of the Righteous does kind of operate sort of ish around the fact that you guys will become leaders. So people in your retinue it's not the worst idea. So yeah, sure. All of these guys your Swatian recruits can turn into Swatian militia now, basically.
Yep. The only thing missing is some of Grazak's own kinsmen.
Yeah. Well,
I need to get to that
Well,
point eventually.
before we sign off for the day, I guess the next, to get it out of the way for next time, what is your next move, team?
Make stuff.
I think we should get everyone on a track to increase the strength of the building that we're in, and then after that, the 4 of us plus we have one more place to check out.
Anivia's place.
For one of our Anivia's place.
Like,
So the
we
4 of
gotta
us
find-
plus Anivia. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta find
Should
where
go find
the
that.
other Crusaders have gone to.
That's fair.
Right.
That's got to be a priority.
Okay. So do you guys want to take off to go to Anivia's right now? Or do you want to wait a day and help fortify things?
I don't think it's going to be I think it's going to be today still. But I just want to get everyone on the track of, upgrading as much as they can, as much as they have the ability, and getting things set up so that they can protect the manor easier.
Okay, that makes sense. Horgus grumbles and bemoans as his fancy it is furniture is put in front of windows, unnecessary doors, of which there are many. I'll probably find a map of Guerum Manor at some point that I'll
Sure.
build up, but it's imagine, if you will, the first room in the mansion in Resident Evil 1, right? You open the door and then here's a big sweeping staircase on either side going up to rooms on the second floor.
Now, question for Guerum.
Yes.
Now, you said you had bodyguards, yes?
Oh, did. Now they've all gone up and left to go.
Did they have a place where they stayed in your manor? Do they have living quarters here?
That's fair, yeah. Yes, of course. They stayed and he waves out a window to another smaller building that has somehow miraculously been spared. Over there in Mall Barracks.
Perhaps they left some weapons behind in their barracks. It's not they stole everything else, but maybe it's worth checking out.
No, sure, seems to make
Razak
sense.
would go and try and look inside the barracks to see if there's any more weapons left.
Alrighty, give me a perception check.
I will try to do that.
I will go with you. do.
Really, I'm looking for anything that might be useful there.
Yeah.
Of
Anything.
Why
course.
can I not?
Okay. Grazak 2000. He's upgraded. He's gone to the future. What I'll say is between the two of you, you're able to scrounge up. I don't necessarily know what they are off the top of my head, but yes, there is some gear left behind that people couldn't carry. That gear manifests in the form of masterwork weapons and armor for all of your retinue.
Yes.
So
That's
that would
fantastic.
be
Exactly what we wanted.
3 masterwork longswords, 3 masterwork shields and armor of whatever that sheet has on it. The wizards are kind of SOL, but that's okay. They have magic. They're better. 4 masterwork clubs, several masterwork crossbows, and like all the bolts and arrows you could ever want. You could definitely fortify this place for a while, assuming not a lot of craziness comes down.
Yeah. Also, our 3 non-combatants, we need to teach them something. So maybe one of them can, learn to sew some of our clothes back together. Another one be our cook. I don't know what the other one can do, but just some little jobs that need to be done that no one else wants to do.
That makes sense. Well, you do have a pair of tailors, and those tailors have definitely gone to work like sewing up curtains that have fallen in people's clothes and things of that nature, as well as what can a tailor do militarily to fortify a building?
Armor, help with traps.
Traps, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sew metal plates into curtains.
Yeah, I like that one. They definitely can help fortify places. Clara's parents are very old, but they are able to take care of like the quartermaster duties, basically, in addition to keeping everyone fed.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, just giving them something to do so that they're not completely useless.
I was just gonna say the tailors help fortify and armor, but okay, fortifying the place itself. Delvin.
Yes.
With stone shape, can you create makeshift walls around the mansion?
He said the mansion walls itself were standing. Are you talking about sealing off some of the excess windows and entryways?
Maybe.
No, but that wouldn't be a bad plan either. Maybe you just seal up some of the excess doorways. Maybe make the walls bigger and taller. Whatever time you have.
I basically can fix an opening disappear per day on the outside of the house. One door or a window.
That. Yeah. Let's have you start with that.
And we might take the barracks apart, stone, and use it to shore up outside the house.
Mm-hmm.
Master Horgus, if he has a room where loud noises can occur but will not be heard by those outside, maybe a room he used to business.
Horgus lights up as you refer to him by noble title. And why, yes, of course, neighbour. What is it you need that room for? You could use me vault, I suppose.
Discussions.
Yes.
And he looks at the 2 captured prisoners and, well, I understand. I'll make sure I have to use the old the Baylor on the spot. That's what they call porta potties in this setting. Why not? And he just gets as far away from it as possible, knowing what you're talking about and how he just kind of doesn't want to hear it at all.
Yep. Well,
privy, that's what it's called. Not Baylor on the spot. What kind of crazy noble am I? The privy. As Horgus has an existential crisis, I suppose. I'm so glad he lived. I love playing him.
You sound like
Well, that gives us a way to do our interrogations because where the human may be redeemable, the cultist is not. And
are they both human?
yes, but the
The
human
other one
knight,
is an actual cultist. Yeah, I know.
yes.
Grazak will want to have a word with this knight, quote unquote.
Yes.
Am I using that phrase correctly? Quote unquote.
I gotta meet my cousins at 6, so I am
Yes.
heading out at this point.
I got you. That's probably not the worst place to call it, actually. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm very proud of my players. They survived with no casualties. I say bye, guys.
Bye.
That's
Adios.
when
Bye,
me, we'll just
guys.
kill it.